Rockstars, Eric Andres, your Guitar Sage here, and today we're going to be talking about my method for learning songs for guitar. That's right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I do it, how I've done it for decades, how I've taught my students to do it, how I learn songs for my students, how I learn songs to put them on YouTube and all the rest. My method's very, very quick. You can learn this. Anybody can learn this. I didn't invent it. It's just my methods, right? So using my ear and using some bits and pieces, some little music theory bits. If music theory scares you, then let's not call it music theory. Let's just say some bits, some really cool things I could show you on the guitar that will help you understand music a lot better. And then finally what I do is after I do all of that, I'm going to show you how I check my work. And what I mean by check my work is I like to use my ear first to determine lots of things. But wait a minute, Eric, I'm not an ear player. I don't know about it. I don't have a musician's ear. I wasn't born with a great ear. Awesome, because neither was I. I trained my ear, and so can you. Sounds like an advertisement, but it's true. You can train your ear. And but what I like to do is I like to check my work too. I like to listen, oftentimes, to maybe another tutorial that somebody else is doing, or look at a tab, or lots of different ways. And the reason that I do that is, even though it may sound right to me, I may be hearing another instrument or assuming something that I'm hearing, but then I may be wrong, okay? Because we're doing this all by ear, we're not sitting down with the original artist, so how will we know for sure, right? I'm gonna show you some ways that you can check yourself. But this is the step-by-step method that I use. You can do this and it will massively help. Now, a lot of the stuff that I'm gonna be talking about, even though it's elementary, tons of people don't know this stuff. The reason that they don't know it is because guitar teachers typically don't teach it. They go straight into here's Crazy Train or here's Layla or whatever, and then maybe the student doesn't know what to ask or the teacher assumes that they know these things. So unfortunately, it's what happens to folks. They don't build that solid foundation. So if any of the stuff that I'm talking to you about goes over your head, it's okay, because I have lots of videos for you to help you with that. The easiest method for you to learn these basics is to click the first link below. It'll give you access to the Unstoppable Guitar System Standard, and that's going to help with a ton of stuff. I can promise you this is the stuff that you're missing if you're having issues. So start there. If any of this stuff goes over your head, otherwise, I'm going to be able to tell you this to you, and you're going to be able to move on and get it. So click that first link below. If you want me to do the work for you, text me. Text FREE to this number right here, and I will get you set up in the program, okay? That's how it's going to work. I'll give those to you one more time before we leave. Now, so what I like to do is I like to learn songs by ear. This is the 30,000-foot view. Learn songs by ear, check my work. Now, those have several steps in them, okay? So first off, the learning songs by ear. Here are the steps, okay? Basically, find the tonal center, and I'll break each one of these down for you as well. Find the tonal center. Find the family of chords that will most likely appear, and any other theory, if you will, that might help me that might assist me in learning that song, okay? So that's how I might learn these songs by ear. I'm gonna break all that down for you. And then the checking the work, what I do is this. And sometimes it may not be in a certain order. Sometimes I might do some of these checking things beforehand, and I'll tell you what I mean by that in just a second here. So checking, how do I do that? How do I check my work? Well, I might watch tutorials from other folks, maybe someone who you know, and maybe not. Maybe just like some random tutorial that I find, maybe on YouTube, maybe not. I look at tabs. I look at the original artist playing the song live. There's lots of information that can be derived from that. In fact, that is one of them that I might do ahead of time. The reason being is that I can learn stuff by ear. I can tell you what key something is and all the chords and all the rest. I can do that. That was a learned thing. Was not born with that. And so good news for you, you can learn it as well. That course is going to help you a ton. But sometimes I will view that artist ahead of time live to see if they're capoing it or if they're not. If I'm like, why does that sound like it's an E flat? They tune their guitar down. So I'm watching them, they're playing in the open position. I can't reach those notes because my guitar's not tuned down. Now I know that they're tuned down. Game changer. So that's one thing I might do in the beginning, okay? And then looking at tabs and that sort of thing, okay? Now let's circle back around to the very first big broad step, which is learning the songs by ear. I'll break that down and then we'll go to more about the checking and that sort of thing. Okay, so first off, to learn a song by ear, you got to know the tonal center. I say this all the time. If you guys don't have this in your ears, in your mind, in your psychology already, then dear God, you got to get it in there, all right? Got to find what the tonal center is of a song. The tonal center, if you will, is the subject matter. If you go to a party and people are talking, you don't just walk in there and start talking because they're talking. True, they're talking, but what are they talking about? They may be talking about something that you have no idea about. Probably good idea to quiet down there and listen, right? So knowing what the tonal center is very important. That's the subject matter, musically speaking, of what that song is. Got to know the tonal center. Once we know the tonal center, we know what notes and what chords should appear. What do you mean, Eric? How do we know that? There are thousands of chords. You're very correct in saying that. I'm glad you brought that up. There are thousands of chords, right? But knowing the tonal center dictates, whether you know this or not, or even believe it or not, it is true. That one tonal center will dictate what chords will probably appear, and it will dictate what notes will appear. Not all the time, but 99% of the time it's going to dictate that. So very, very important to know that tonal center as opposed to not knowing it and just randomly playing, looking, searching for notes. But Eric, people do that. They play by ear. Friend, that's not what playing by ear is, okay? I play by ear. That's not what playing by ear is. It's not that you can just pick up a guitar and just play whatever you want, wherever you want. Even the best of players, okay, it's not like that. There is methodology. There's understanding of the neck. That's the theory part I'm talking about. Very simple stuff, but once you know it, it's a constant for you. It's a benchmark, okay? So John Mayer is not going to be able, or Jimi Hendrix or any of the best players in the world are not going to be able to play by ear if they don't know the tonal center, if their guitar is not in tune, if their guitar is not in standard tuning or something that they're used to, all right? So all those, at least those three things need to be consistent in order for someone to play by ear. And that's a lot of consistency there. They got to know what the tonal center is. They got to have their guitar in tune, and their guitar needs to be tuned to standard tuning or some sort of tuning that they're used to, maybe slide or something, but they're used to it. Otherwise, the notes are not going to appear where they assume that they will, okay? So it's not all by ear. In fact, I have a video that says that playing by ear is 80% music theory. Realistically, it's more like 90-95% because you're hearing the same things in the same way as you did as a baby, as you are as an adult, but now you have knowledge to take the information that you're hearing, be able to put them in the places to determine the key, the tonal center, the chords, and all the rest, okay? That's what I'm talking about here. So I find out what the tonal center is first. I've got videos for that we're not going into right now. It's too much information. Search YourGuitarSage key, YourGuitarSage tonal center. I'll help you with that, okay? If you're in UGS Pro, you know where to find all this stuff, right? So got to find out what the tonal center is. That tonal center tells you what the appropriate chords are. I'm going to tell them to you right now. In a major key, it's major 1, right? Minor 2, minor 3, major 4, major 5, minor 6, diminished 7. Usually this one is not diminished 7. It's a flat 7, and it's a major chord. I know I'm losing some of you here, and I apologize for that, but there's no way for me to get you into this next level without a little bit of pain. Hit that first link below in order to fill in the spaces, okay? So those are the chords that naturally appear. Major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. Look, major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. That thumb, that minor, you can have a tonal center of a 1 or a tonal center of a 6, and all the chords will remain the same. So if your tonal center is the 6, that means that the next chord would be diminished. Okay? More on that in those videos. If some of this is going over your head, it's just because you don't have the appropriate foundation for us to grow upon. You got to get that, okay? Got to do it. Okay, so now I know my family of chords. The 1, the 4, the 5, the minor 6, those are the ones that appear the most, and we got to know that information. Otherwise, you're going to be just grabbing at thousands of chords, potential possibilities. Once I know what the tonal center is, if it's in the key of G, not only do I know that the chords in the key of G are G major, A minor, B minor, C major, D major, E minor, and F sharp diminished, and then back to G, 99% of the time those are the chords that are going to appear. I also know which chords out of those 7 chords are going to appear the most. The 1 chord, the 4 chord, the 5 chord, the 6 minor chord. Those are the chords that are going to appear the most in that order. And so why wouldn't you start with those first, right? Okay. Now, once we know, and we're going to use our ear, we're going to listen to the bass line. That's what I do a lot of time. If I'm hearing that bass line do something like this, a G, a C, a D. If I hear the bass line, the bass player doing that, I'm going to assume that the chords are G major, C major, and D major, because I just told you what the family of chords are that belong to the key of G, so that would make sense. I'm not going to grab a G, why is it minor? What is it, a minor? Is it a diminished chord? No, they're major because the 1, 4, and 5 are major. The 6 would be minor. Got lots of videos for you on that, but I'm assuming that you either know that or that you're going to watch those videos, because it would be a really long video otherwise. Okay. Then I'm using my ear and I'm taking sections. Very important to take a section at a time. Learn the intro, set that aside. Learn the verse, set that aside. Take the chorus, set that aside. Learn one little segment at a time. If you're looking at the whole thing, no one runs up a mountain. You go one step at a time. So it's important that you do that with learning these songs. If you're just trying to run up the mountain, you're going to get tired, you're going to burn out. Great effort for your first, mile or so. Otherwise, you're going to wear yourself out. So this is a marathon, right? Break it down. Now, let's just say that we learned our song. Thank you, Mike. Let's say we learned our song and we feel pretty good about it, okay? I always tell you that the very first thing that I do is, unless it's very obvious, I will typically go watch a live video of whoever playing the song, so I can see is there a capo on their guitar. That lets me know appropriately where they're playing. If I'm just learning the basics of the song, oh, this one's in the key of G, I don't care. I'm just going to play it in the key of G. But if I want to learn the exact thing, an example would be Tom Petty. What's his famous song, Mike? The biggest song ever. Free Fallin', thank you. Free Fallin', that song can be played so many different ways, and when you know where Tom wrote that song and where he capoed it, then everything falls into place. But you can play it in so many different keys, and I have. So if you're just trying to learn the song for basically, then that's how you do it. Otherwise, if you want to know exactly the place that he played it, which are two different things, then watch him live, so where he puts his capo, and then that's going to help you put it appropriately on the fretboard, okay? So then the other thing that I do is I will sometimes go to tabs. This is more, if it's like a solo, something more intricate, oftentimes I will look at tabs, or might even watch someone just playing it and slow it down. Okay, they're putting their fingers there, okay. For some of you, that may be too much for you in the beginning, but as you graduate to become a better player, you'll be able to do that sort of thing. So I will look at tabs, I'll watch live videos, other tutorials, other playthroughs of people doing those songs, so that it gives me an idea, okay, well, they're on this part of the neck, and if I watch 7 people play a particular solo and they go up to a certain place, and I had a question about it, but they all go up to that particular place, I'm going to know, oh, okay, they're all going up to the 17th fret there. That is probably where it's at. Make sense? So that's just to check my work, if you will. Now, I know a lot of this is over your head, friends, and I know for some of you it's not, but for those of you where it is, I can help you with that, but I can't help you unless you watch the videos. There's no way. I would love to just be able to just spill it out in 15 minutes and you're going to get it, but obviously nothing works like that in life. The bigger the goal, the bigger the quest, the more that you need. So, but I have Unstoppable Guitar System Standard for you today for free, the very first link below. So all you got to do is go there. That's going to build a massive foundation, or text me at this number. Just text FREE and I will set you up with it. Okay. Now, if you and I are in communication already on UGS Pro and you just want to communicate with me, then just type in UGS to that same number and we will be communicating with each other. Okay. Friends, please like this video, share it with your friends on social and all that good stuff, and also hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. All right. I'm here to help you. I want to help you so bad. I truly do. I love doing these short bits here for you. Of course, we can't answer the questions live like this, but so many different ways you can get in touch with me. UGS Pro folks know you can get in touch with me all day long. In fact, if you're in UGS Pro, put that in the chat right now and let folks know. If you're in the first 30, UGS Standard, let folks know by just typing 30, and then give me a thumbs up if it's helped you. If it hasn't, no, I don't want to hear. Or let folks know if it hadn't helped you, but I want to know if it's helped you, okay? That would help me a lot, and it'll help other folks know who are on the fence whether they should get in there or not. The answer is yes, you should, but I want you to hear it from other folks, okay? I'm out of here. See ya.